All right, are you thinking of relocating to the Tucson, Arizona area? Well, you might rethink that decision after watching this video through. With so many of my clients relocating here, there's always a lot of questions or concerns when it comes to moving to a completely different area. Now, with the help from some of my clients and also by searching online and a little help from AI, I've come up with 9 of the top questions or concerns of when it comes to moving and relocating here. And as a Tucson native who was born and raised here, I will be able to answer those questions very honestly. So it'll help you decide whether Tucson is the right location for you or if you might just pass. We're gonna go over if it's too hot, some of the food, cost of living, everything you can think of, and even some of the questions that might have not even popped up in your head. Let's get right into the video. Up first, I think the most burning question people have is, what is the weather like? When's a good time to move? And is it really that hot? So of course, I'm gonna go over, what I've experienced, but first I want to always look online and get statistics. So we're now on the National Weather Service, and this is just gonna give you more of the averages over the past few years and months and what those daily averages look like. Now, of course, they will be adjusted based off of what I've experienced in the past few years and what you can more so expect month to month. But here you have January. Our winters are very mild. Now, you will get some colder days where it can get into the 20s or 30s, but as the sun comes up, it will heat up. Our winters typically are going to be more so January through March or so. Those are more of our colder months, and you can be in more of the 40s, 50s, that range, but it can get pretty chilly. There are some mornings that it does get below freezing, so your water pipes and you might have some frost on your windows, but again, as it heats up, as the sun comes out, it heats up a little bit. So here you can see January, here are the highs and lows, and everything that I talk about will be linked down below. But as I said again, this is giving more highs and lows. And I will say February, March, in my opinion, it is colder. January can definitely get cold. Our November, December is like our Christmas months, not as cold. You're probably more so in the 60s or so. But of course, I think the biggest thing is people always want to know the hot months because that does make a big difference. So we have about 8 months of beautiful weather where you are outdoors, great weather, don't really have to worry about much. But I would say that May, that is when it does start to get a little bit warm. About mid-May, you can maybe start seeing it get into the high 90s or so. And in my opinion, and what I do tell clients is that June, I think, is the hottest month. That is right before July, which is when our monsoon season happens. And in June, I just feel like it's a little bit more of a pressure buildup. It feels a lot hotter. You can get into the triple digits around 105 up to maybe 110. Those are rare days. You don't have 110 all the time. We did have some this summer, which it was a week of being 105 to 110, and it's brutal. But I will say the difference is of course, there's not really humidity. It's a dry heat. So for when are you going to be, visiting? I always recommend clients, if they're seriously thinking of moving here, of course, it's great those 8 months, but if you really want to see if you can make it through the summer, which it's only about 2 to 3 months of those high temperatures, come in June. See if you can handle it. If it's not that bad for you, if you can handle it, if it's worth not going through shoveling snow and all of the winter necessities that come with living in colder states and you're okay with the heat, definitely worth it. I just had some wonderful clients who moved here from Alaska. They came in June. It really wasn't that bad. Honestly, it is hot, but you're mainly spending your time indoors by the pool in AC. So it's not like you're out in the summer heat all the time, unless that's what your job requires. So as you can see, pretty mild temperatures from what these daily and normal records are showing, monthly and daily records. But again, you will get in June and July, you could get into the 105 to 110. We did have in June about 110, 111, and that was pretty awful, especially when you're driving around showing houses outside. It can be really hot. So it's important to hydrate, make sure you're drinking electrolytes, and of course, sunscreen. That's super key to surviving the summer months. But again, you're gonna be spending it mainly indoors, in AC, in your car AC, by the pool. Really not that bad if it's something you can handle. Next, we have what does it cost to live here and what do utilities look like? Of course, if you're looking to relocate to any new place, it's so important to know how far your dollar is going to get you, if it makes sense, and if it's affordable for you and what you bring in for a salary. Now, I have done a very in-deep detail video of what it does cost to live in Tucson. So you'll definitely want to click that up below so that you can watch that video. And I even show some of my own personal utility bills and just bills in general, so you can get a sense of, as a single family household, me and my husband, what it costs us monthly to heat and cool our home, what those bills look like. So make sure you take a look at that video. But for this video, we're gonna take a look at the Tucson Association of Realtors website to give you an inside scoop on what the median household pricing is. And then we're gonna look at pay scales so that it can kind of compare and contrast what things cost. And if there's some corrections needed, I will let you know. But here we are, this is the Tucson Association of Realtors, and this is going to give us the very most up-to-date median sales price. So as of June this year, June 2025, this is our median sales price. Now, it has gone up and down drastically the past few years, but I do see it somewhat steadying out a little bit. We are seeing a little bit more of a buyer's market for the most part. It really depends on the location, what the house looks like, everything like that. But as of June, $360,000 for median sales price. Now, average sales price is $436,000. And it all depends on the area. You're going to see higher price points in certain areas or more lower prices. But I really will say, if you're looking for a more steady idea, new construction is always a great route to go, because they're going to be giving you some great options in the mid 300s all the way up to, multi-million dollar options. But it's good for everybody who's looking in that price point. Now, let's go over to pay scale. I like using this for the most part. Sometimes there's some corrections that need to be done for just cost of living and what things cost. So this is basing it off of a $50,000 income. You can go on this website, play around, put in what your annual salary is, and it'll give you a good idea. As you can see, this is saying the median home price is $502. Not the case, so that's pretty far off. Median rent, I will say that is pretty accurate. If you're looking for an apartment, you're gonna be going anywhere from around $600, depending on the location and the apartment, all the way up to, I've seen up to $2,200, $2,300 for apartments. Now, for single family homes, you can find some great options depending on the area, around $1,600 all the way up to $4,000, just depending on home and area. So there's a wide range, but it can fit for a lot of people. Energy bill, $211 a month. I will say that's somewhat accurate. It depends on the time of year and everything. Phone bill, I personally think this is high. Granted, I am on a family plan, so my bill is about, I think it's $60 a month or so. So it really depends on your carrier, what plan you're on. This is definitely higher. I just filled up gas 2 days ago and it was $2.98. So depends on location, it depends on the area, but I have not seen gas this high in Tucson in quite a while. You're looking just under $3 or so, and I do the lower tier gas. So if you're doing like diesel or any of the others, it might be more expensive. Loaf of bread, depending all on where you shop. But for the most part, I will say this is actually pretty accurate. Definitely, I just bought bananas and this was pretty much, it was 79 cents basically. But these are pretty much accurate as well. I will say these ones need a little bit of work here and there, but really, if you're looking to get a really in deep dive idea, definitely take a look at that video that I did, because again, I show you my own personal bills, what it costs to live here. And I will say a lot of my clients who have relocated here from California, Washington, the Midwest, like Kansas City or Colorado, cost of living is a lot more affordable. Our property taxes, depending on if you're in the city of Tucson, it's just under, I'm pretty sure, 0.8 of property taxes. If you're looking more in the Marana or Vail areas, so the more outer areas of Tucson, you're looking at about 1.02% of property tax. So insurance is more affordable, property taxes are definitely more affordable compared to places like California or Texas. So definitely want to compare, apples to oranges in those cases of where you're moving from and what it is going to cost. So take a look at that video so you can get a real good deep dive on the cost of living. Number 3, we have what are the best neighborhoods for families, retirees, or professionals. Now, of course, that is all subjective to what exactly you are looking for and what neighborhoods are going to fit your needs the best. So that's why it's always important that you set up a one-on-one call with me so that I can get to know you better and also what's going to fit your needs, whether you are looking for a very family-centric neighborhood or if you're looking strictly for a retirement community. I can really hone in on the important things that matter to you and help you narrow down the exact areas that are going to fit your needs best. So down below, you can schedule a call with me. My phone number, email, all of that stuff is down there so I can really help you find the best area. But in general, for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go over, top neighborhoods based off of Google and kind of also show you some of the areas that my clients have really been gravitating towards the past year or so when it comes to their needs. So if you go into Google and you type in top neighborhoods in Tucson, of course, a lot of people are already kind of gravitate towards the Catalina Foothills area. That is more of our luxury community, beautiful landscape, which, let me jump over to the map. Catalina Foothills is going to be right in this area. So this is going to be North Tucson, right on the base of the Catalina Mountains. Now, that might fit other people's needs more than others. It really just depends. But if you're looking, let's first start more urban lifestyle. I'm gonna say more in the downtown area. So that's going to be more in the Dunbar Springs area. You have El Presidio, Barrio Viejo, Armory Park. These areas right here, you're going to have some really cool eclectic houses, more historic homes for that matter, a lot more walkability if you're not necessarily wanting a car or vehicle to get around. That's going to be these locations here. Now, if you're looking for more central Tucson, the Broadmoor Broadway Village is a great location, or it's a very popular location. Arroyo Chico is also very popular, Sam Hughes, and especially because you are in close proximity to the University of Arizona. So great if you are looking and wanting to have more central lifestyle, very popular areas, as well as Poets Square, which is right here. These are a lot of your central Tucson areas, but there's a lot to digest and a lot of different neighborhoods to go through. So these are just a few of the ones that come to mind, but it's always good to get a good idea of what you're looking for because, the Poets Square area might not fit your needs, but if we move up to Broadmoor Broadway Village, might fit you better. So it's just based off of what you're looking for. Now, if you're looking for primarily new construction, let me zoom back out. You're going to be really looking in the Sahuarita area, which is south of Tucson, Marana, which is going to be northwest, which is all of this area here. There's a few areas in Oro Valley for new construction, but not as many. And then of course, the Vail area, which is southeast. So those are primarily new construction, but there is a lot of resale options as well. But let's zoom back in. Some top areas that a lot of my clients are more so gravitating towards. I have some choosing the Tanque Verde Valley area, which is just northeast of Tucson, great mountain views. Catalina Foothills, and you're gonna find either more luxury custom homes or some older homes like ranch style homes with some space. Now keep in mind some of them might need a little bit of work, but this is going to be some of the luxury areas of Tucson. Oro Valley is very, very popular for a lot of my out of state people who are moving here. Very great area, especially for cycling and just having the proximity to the mountain as well. And then I have quite a bit of families moving to the Dove Mountain area, which is more of a resort style area for living. Great new construction options ranging from high 400s all the way up into 900s and multi-million dollar options. And then this side of Marano, which is going to be Gladden Farms, great for new construction, very big community for families, and just people in general looking for a good community base right in this area. Now, I also have quite a bit moving to the Sahuarita area and also Vail because of new construction. But again, there's a lot of great locations here in town. I can't touch on all of them, but again, that's why it's always so important just to give me a call so I can get a sense of what you're looking for, so I can really give you great options of where to look. But for if you're looking more urban and more of accessibility to downtown, these are the areas you're going to be looking right in here. These red dotted lines are going to be your city of Tucson, basically the outline. Out of that, you're basically in Pima County jurisdiction. So just to give you an idea, when you have that red line, that is city of Tucson. So great options, but it's always good to get an idea of exactly what you're looking for to really hone in on the best options. Before we move on, I wanted to show you a really great resource that will be linked down below. This is my new website that my team and I have worked very hard on, and it's going to be the best resource for you to play around with. Now, this is the main page. Up here, you can see my phone number, so you can call or text me if you have any questions. But there's a lot of buyer resources, seller resources, and one of my favorite tools on this website is this interactive map here. Now, you can see it lights up as you go over different areas. So here we have the city of Tucson city limits. Or if you go over here, you have Catalina Foothills, Casas Adobes, Oro Valley, and if you click on it, it'll take you to some of the videos that I have done in those particular areas. So everything you want to know about Oro Valley, it's here. It is already customized for you to search those areas, which is really nice. So really cool interactive map. Also lists basically luxury properties, popular new construction areas, affordable areas, acreage properties, everything you can hope and want in a map. Now, a little bit about me and my team. And then, of course, I have some more resources here if you're looking to relocate or new builds. A little love from some of my past clients, which I really appreciate. And then featured videos if you are, of course, already watching me on YouTube. These are some of my past videos that I have done in the past few weeks. This is another great option. This is free for you to download. This is my free relocation guide, because if you're watching this video, you're maybe thinking of moving here to Tucson. Download this guide, it is free. Besides this video, this is probably way more in detail and in depth about relocating to Tucson. Everything from schools, restaurants, country clubs, everything you could think of that you might not even think of, while watching this, it'll be in this guide. It's free for you to download. You just enter your information and it will be downloadable within seconds in your email. So great option. And then, of course, it goes over all of the areas and suburbs of Tucson. So as much as we're going over a lot here, this is even more information and locations for you. And then if you want to schedule a meeting with me, which I highly recommend, schedule it right here. And it'll be super easy, work with your and my schedule. Last thing I want to show you, if you click on this buy tab here, I've heard from so many clients how helpful this is. This basically, you scroll down, and let's say you're looking in East Tucson over here, and you're looking specifically for houses. This is going to pull all of the options in the East Tucson area, and you can start making your very own customizable search. So you can say you like this house, you don't like it, and it'll start tailoring you your own search, which is super cool. So this is going to be linked down below, but my website is TucsonArizonaLiving.com. Please go to it, play around with it, see if it's helpful for you, but I've heard from many people it's super fun and helpful to just play around with. Now let's get to the next question, and that is Tucson a walkable city? Do you need a car? Honestly, yes, you do need a car. We do have public transportation, but it really is more so limited to the city of Tucson area, which, let me go back to the map. That is this red dotted zone here. So we do have city buses, which is the SunTran, but they go to certain areas. And then we do have a streetcar, but that is really only primarily only in this 1.5 mile radius from downtown Tucson to the Mercado district to the University of Arizona. So really, if you are only living in this area here, you're going to be using that Sunlink, which let me show you the website. This is Sunlink. It is free to use, but it's only 1.5 mile radius. So it's great if you're going downtown or if you are kind of bar hopping. It's not working right now, but this is free to use. This is pretty much what it looks like. And again, if you're downtown, Mercado District, University of Arizona, this will get you to those areas for free. Now for the bus system, again, you're really going to be more so in the city of Tucson. And if you're relying on it, that's totally fine. But really, everybody I know has a vehicle. You're going to need it to get around grocery store just to make it more accessible. Especially if you're living in these areas, you're going to need a vehicle. And especially if you search online, you're going to see either on Reddit or any of those sites, so many people will express it is not a walkable city if that is what you are primarily relying on. Of course, you can take Uber or Lyft, but if you're looking to relocate here, you're probably going to need a car. Number 5, what is the job market like and who are the top employers and what are the top industries in Tucson? So of course, if you are looking to relocate here, it is so important to know, who's hiring if you are not relocating here for a job or if you need a job. So top leading employers in Tucson, let's take a look. So, and this is, of course, I went on Google, I searched this, but this is who is the top leading employers in Tucson. Of course, we have Raytheon Missiles and Defense. I've had a lot of clients who have relocated here through Raytheon. So this is definitely one of the top leading relocations for Tucson. Huge missile and defense system here in town. And then of course, we are a university city, so University of Arizona, one of the top educational institutions in Arizona and also one of the top employers. So everything from education to if you're working in more of the administration to retail, everything. It is a massive influx for people looking to move here and getting a job with them or relocating because of them. For medical, we have Banner, which that is very close to the University of Arizona. It's one of the leading health providers here in town, so definitely a huge supplier for relocation. And then of course, we have the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base here in Tucson. So besides Raytheon, I will say Davis-Monthan, those are the two that I see the most when it comes to relocation. So Davis-Monthan and also Border Patrol. I don't know if that's listed on here, but Border Patrol is a big one as well. Pima County, of course, we are within the Pima County district. So that's going to be a huge employment option for here in Tucson. Tucson Unified School District, which is the biggest public school district here in Tucson, and it is all over Tucson. So if you are in the educational system, not wanting to do, University of Arizona, TUSD is a huge district. Carondelet Health Network, another medical option here in town. So administrative staff, healthcare professionals, all of that, Carondelet is huge here. Tucson Electric Power, that is TEP. That is primarily where majority of Tucson is getting their power, unless you are getting it elsewhere if you're a little bit more in the outer areas. Caterpillar, they came here a few years ago, probably 10-ish years ago or so, but another big relocation option here in Tucson, and one of their bigger centers is downtown, which is a beautiful area or beautiful building. And then Amazon, we have a fulfillment center here. It came here, I want to say at least 5 or so years ago, but huge opportunity. So if you're moving to Tucson or if you're looking for a job or relocating with Amazon and wanting to get more of the desert climate, we have a fulfillment center here in town on the southeast side of town. So love me Prime, because I can get my packages same day because of that fulfillment center. I will also say that tech is becoming a very big push and option here in Tucson, especially in the Oro Valley downtown area. There's a lot of tech opportunities coming up. So besides these 10 that I mentioned, there's some great options here in town. I do see it becoming a very big booming industry with a lot of job opportunities. So whether you're looking for administration, if you're looking for medical, if you're looking for missile and defense or border patrol, military, you have a lot of options for employment here or relocation options. Okay, number 6, let's talk about some of the top concerns I get when it just comes to moving to the desert in general. That being obviously the heat, and then of course the wildlife we have out here. Now, I just mentioned we're in the desert, so we do have wildlife, and I will say that it's not as bad as somebody might think it is. One of the biggest concerns I get from people moving here is scorpions or rattlesnakes, which yes, we do have those, but it all comes down to how you set up your home and how you manage it. Now, I am born and raised here in Tucson. I've lived 30 plus years here, obviously, and I think in my 32 years of life, I have seen inside my house 2 scorpions. And some people, it might be more. There might be more higher activity for some people. My house, where it currently is, it backs a wash. So we will get a little bit more animal activity in the wash and in our backyard, that being javelinas, coyotes, or bobcats, but they are more afraid of you than you are of them. Now, of course, don't go up to them, don't try to pet them. They will probably charge you or try to protect themselves, but I have a dog. She is the light of my life, so her protection is my highest importance. So when she's outside, I at least make sure I have an eye on her. I really don't leave her out in the backyard. If we're going somewhere, she's inside. That's a preference. Of course, people will leave their dogs outside, and because mine backs a wash, I am a little bit more conservative with what I do with her out there, or just without keeping an eye on her. Now, back to scorpions. Any of those pests, insects, all of that, you're gonna wanna get your house sprayed quarterly, which the pest services here do offer that. If you're looking at more of a new construction, they are digging up earth and ground, so there is a little bit more unsettlement with, waking things up potentially. Now, all in new construction, all of the houses are sprayed for termites, which termites, it's not if you'll get them, it's when. They're subterranean termites here, and they're very, very easy to take care of. You just don't wanna let them go untreated. Now, for termites, scorpions, any of those gross bugs, I get my house sprayed quarterly, and it's all part of the process. And I think it's just kind of your maintenance of living here in the desert. Now, like javelinas, those are going to be, I hear they're actually not pigs, but these are javelinas right here. I think they're cute, other people don't. They're pretty much partially blind, but they just roam with their little babies throughout the desert, and they are basically like trash pandas here in the desert. They eat everything. So they will go through your garbage, they will eat your pumpkins if you have them out during Halloween. And then of course we have coyotes. And you'll see those kind of walking around in the desert or in the streets, but for the most part, you're just gonna, if you have small dogs, keep an eye on them if you leave them outside. Bobcats, I've only seen a few out in my area, but again, we're backing a wash. I've never seen a mountain lion. You might see those definitely more in the actual mountains themselves, but I haven't had any issues or run-ins with those. You'll have a lot of road runners and quails, but again, when it comes to just the wildlife, it is more afraid of you than you are of it, I would assume. But that comes down to, with those gross bugs and everything, get your house sprayed quarterly and it'll really maintain the issue. But I think a lot of people think with rattlesnakes, if you have dogs, get them rattlesnake trained, and also with the toads here during the summer, they're poisonous. You don't want your dog to lick it. So they just know right off the bat, stay away from rattlesnakes, stay away from the toads, and just ignore them. So rattlesnake training for dogs if you have a dog. Now, another big concern, of course, we already kind of touched on it, is the heat. It does get hot here. We're in the Sonoran Desert, but it's so important that you drink water, stay hydrated, and that, of course, during those hot summer days where it can get to 105 or 110, you're really staying inside during the peak summer days, so like your afternoon. In the mornings and evenings, it significantly cools off, but you're staying in the AC, you're drinking water, you're going to the pool or whatever to just kind of mitigate that extreme heat. But I would rather have that extreme, I say extreme, it's triple digits, dry heat over the 100-degree heat with humidity. It makes a massive, massive difference. Number 7, how are the schools and what are the amenities like for families and what is there to do here for families? Okay, so as a realtor, I cannot tell you this is a good school, this is a good school, a school. I'm gonna show you though, and this is based off of niche.com. If you've seen any of my videos in the past when I do community tours and show the school districts, I like using niche.com. You play around with it, you can read reviews from students or parents or teachers, and it'll really give you a good idea. This is all based off of information I find online, and it'll be linked down below, but it's always good for you to do your own research when it comes to school districts in general and where you're moving. But this is a general map of all of the school districts in Tucson. So historically, for the past, I think 10 plus years, the Vail School District has been an A+ school district, but there's been a lot of great schools and public school districts that have been popping up. If you're moving to the Sahuarita area, this is the Sahuarita Unified School District. If you're moving to Northeast Tucson, you're in the Tinca Verde Unified School District. It's an A- school, beautiful campuses too. Tucson Unified School District, so that is pretty much all of this area here. So anything in red is pretty much going to be the Tucson Unified School District. So as a district in whole, for it being the largest one in Tucson, it's B-, which is pretty great. Sunnyside Unified School District, which is going to be more of these areas here, more of the southern areas and southwestern areas. You can see the school district rating right there. As we make our way up, Catalina Foothills, that's going to be primarily this area right here, also notoriously known for being an A-rated school district. You have the Flowing Wells School District, which is actually an A-. This one I think is a charter school. Flowing Wells Unified School District, A-. So that's gonna actually be a smaller area right here, more central, northwestern Tucson, but kind of more central. And then Amphitheater School District, that's going to be pretty much Oro Valley and these areas all through here. That is the Amphitheater School District, and that is a B+. They don't have the Marana School District listed up here, but from what I know, it is either a B+ or an A-, but definitely make sure you look that up. But that is all of this area here for Marana. So always good to do your research if school districts are a big deal for you. Niche.com will be linked down below, but it's good to do your own research because sometimes these are a little bit off in general, but for the most part, they're pretty spot on from what I have seen. Now, fun things to do for family. I think there's a lot of great options here in Tucson. Of course, we have our hiking trails, Sabino Canyon Recreational Park. You have so many national parks surrounding Tucson. You have Mount Lemmon, which is 40 miles north of Tucson into the Catalina Mountains, and it is 20 degrees cooler there. It snows. You can go and get cookies at the cookie cabin up there. Lots of fun. But I like using visittucson.com just to see what's going on in Tucson for the week or just things to do. As you can see, lots of fun things with families here and the little kiddos. Old Tucson is a great option. They used to film Old West movies there. You have golf and stuff, which is like a golf putt-putt area with arcade and laser tag. You have the Arizona Sonoran Desert, so really cool. They have some wildlife there as well. Sky Island, that is cool. Also Mount Lemmon area. We do have a planetarium here at the University of Arizona, so a lot of fun. You can go zip lining, go pick apples at Apple Annie's Orchard, also pumpkin patches. There's so much to do here. The Children's Museum, you can go to the batting cages, Colossal Cave, you can go through their like historic, I think millions of year old cave systems. This is really cool. I personally have never done it before, but I think it is super cool. I might offer to take my nephew Emerson to go and do this. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So visit Tucson. This will just show you we have trampoline parks, everything you can kind of think of, it's here. But I think the good thing about Tucson is we are very much an outdoor community. So even though it does get hot, you will see the kids at the water pools and the aquariums. We don't have an aquarium. The water areas with pools and an aquatic center. You'll have them at the Children's Museum. We really utilize, especially during the summer, some of the fun options to do either with water sports or just staying inside and staying cool. Of course, the University of Arizona is a lot of fun during tailgate season. Here we have the San Javier Mission. So it's a really cool cultural experience for a lot of families. You have the Dias de los Muertos parade after Halloween. So really cool options. I think it's a great community for everyone, whether you have kids or not. It's a great option. So visit Tucson will be linked down below so you can see all of the things that go on throughout the year. And there's even things I'm not even aware of, but I'm gonna take a deep dive on this website as well. Number 8, what is the food scene like? Okay, I think Tucson doesn't get enough credit for how great our food scene is. And if you didn't know, we are one of the 2 cities in the United States that is rated a city of gastronomy, San Antonio being the other one. But we have everything. Of course, amazing Mexican food, pizza, Korean, Italian, everything you can think of. It is here. So I love using TucsonFoodie.com or especially their Instagram page. They are just absolutely killing it. If you are coming to Tucson, if you're coming and planning a trip to meet up with me and look at some houses, go to TucsonFoodie.com because you will get to see every restaurant that is just, recommended or opening. Let's go to some of their guides. I'm not kidding. There's some amazing restaurants here in town. I like using the Ultimate Tucson Restaurant Bucket List. I think they go over everything. And of course, I have some of my favorites, so if it's not listed here, reach out to me because I know of some really great places. Or if you're looking for good margaritas, anything like that, it's always important. Reach out to me down below so that you can either text, call, or email me if you're planning a trip to Tucson and would like recommendations and to meet up. Okay, so this goes over everything. Look, here you have a map of Tucson and look at how many options. It even goes up into the Oro Valley area. But Augustine Kitchen, great restaurant. It has one of my favorite salmon Caesar salad and their French fries are amazing. Anello Pizza, which is great as well. Everything. Look, there's even a Thai restaurant here. Barista del Barrio. This is a really cute walk-up shop and they have burritos and coffee. You have Barrio bread. They make their own bread here in town, which is amazing. Barrio Brewing Company. Also really, really great beers as well. But this is a great option. You have Boca, which has some really cool tacos as well, just a little bit different. But of course, we have amazing Sonoran Mexican food, everything from Say's Kitchen, El Charro. We are, it is said, the original creators of the chimichanga as well. You have El Charro, which is the original creator. Let's see. Scrolling down, great barbecue as well. So many options. This is even cool. We even have an Ethiopian option. There's so many different options here in town. So if you're looking for Chinese, Asian cuisine, Ethiopian, Italian, Mexican, you will have all the options possible. And I think it really just, we don't get enough credit for our food scene and it's continuing to grow. There's a lot of places that are getting some really good recognition on TikTok or Instagram. That's really bringing a lot of people as a tourist option to come and visit our food scene. So TucsonFoodie.com, charro steak is delicious as well. TucsonFoodie.com, and you can look through all of the options. And of course, reach out to me, see what are some of my favorites. But if you go to my relocation guide that you can download for free, I go over some of my options in there as well. But this truly, when I can't think of a place to go and eat for my husband and I go to Tucson Foodie, I go to their Instagram and I scroll to see what is going on and what things are opening up. But we have some amazing especially coffee places. There's a great matcha place here in town, a lot of different cuisines that I think are definitely overlooked. So Tucson is an amazing foodie scene if that is what you're looking for. Lastly, number 9, what is the social scene like? That being the community, the art scene, the outdoor activities. I think Tucson has a little touch of everything. Now, of course, we are not a big major city like Phoenix or LA where you're going to have your MLB or your NBA or massive concerts. But the good thing is that we're only about an hour and a half away from Phoenix. So if you're not wanting to live in a giant city, you will have some amazing options of things that come to Tucson. So I, again, am on visittucson.org, and I think this is a great website just for getting an idea of what Tucson is about. Now, we are a very big outdoor community. We are in the Sonoran Desert. It's beautiful. I think as I get older, I appreciate more and more of where I live. So it has America's best Mexican food, which I think this is very honest, but we do have the best Mexican food attractions. Let's take a look at that. So we are considered the Wild West. So we have national parks and forest areas. You have the Coronado National Forest, Saguaro National Park, Sabino Canyon, Madera Canyon, all of these. This is really cool. The Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument. These are so cool, and these are what they look like in real life. So I think I take it for granted, but I live in the desert. But people who come here, the saguaros, the Oregon Pipe cactuses, they're absolutely stunning. We have a lot of museums as well. So everything from the Arizona Sonoran Desert Museum, there's also the Arizona State Museum, the Arizona History Museum, everything. We're also super close to a lot of destination areas where you can just do a day trip, whether that's to Sedona and seeing the Red Rocks up north, or if you want to go a little bit south and go to Bisbee, that's a really cool day trip as well. If you want to do like a ghost tour or something, it's a lot of fun. But we are also a very big astronomy city. So beautiful night skies. You have Kitt Peak, which is very close. The U of A Biosphere, which is really cool. This I think is definitely something to come and see as well, but this is north of Tucson, and it's exploring different environments throughout the world basically. So Biosphere, definitely cool. It is brought to you by the University of Arizona. And let's scroll back. There's a lot to do. We have a zoo, we have just kind of everything you can think of. Outdoor activities, again, biking and cycling is huge. So whether you are doing it on, mountain biking, or if you're cycling throughout the city, we have the Tour de Tucson that happens every November as well. Lots of hiking trails, horseback riding, again, astronomy, rock climbing, everything you could think of for outdoor activities. You can do it here, and if not, you're a 30-hour drive away from doing it. We again are a city of gastronomy. We have a lot of great resorts for if you're doing a staycation, or again, if you're coming down to check out the area, seeing if it's going to be the right fit for you, and of course, giving me a call before you do that so we can meet up. Definitely look at one of our resorts here in town. But this is also where I like to see what's going on in town. So you can do the events going on, things going on in Tucson this week. So we do have artists who do come into town. They're either going to be at Rialto Theater or at the casinos and performing there, or even at TCC, which is the convention center. But it just shows you what's going on throughout the week. We'll have like sound bowl ceremonies, chilling at the Chul, which is a cool outdoor live music hanging out session during the summer nights. Our summer night market, that's really cool as well. That's at the Amex, which it's just an outdoor shopping event for local vendors. Sweet Corn Extravaganza, Tucson Saguaro Baseball Club. I promise you won't get bored. There are always things going on here in town. A little bit slower during the summer months, but once that school year kicks in, like August through May, there is a lot of stuff going on. It is our busy season. So Tucson has everything from outdoors, social events, artists that come into town. I think there's something for everybody. And again, of course, if you're looking for more of the big city life, you might not get that feel here. You're gonna get a little bit more eclectic bars and some nightlife, and especially the college nightlife on the University of Arizona area. You'll have bars, you'll have those options, but not the big clubs like you might see in Scottsdale or Phoenix or LA. But again, you'll have a lot of breweries and some fun lower key options, which I think is great for a lot of people. Okay, so hopefully that put some of your concerns and questions at ease. Of course, I probably didn't cover everything you might be thinking, so that's why it's always so important that you reach out to me and schedule a one-on-one call, whether that be over Zoom or just over the phone, so I can get to know you a little bit better if you're thinking of relocating. And again, these are just some of the common questions or concerns I get from clients, and also a little bit of help from AI, ChatGPT, getting a good idea of what everyone is searching when it comes to relocating. And honestly, these are the same questions I'm getting almost on the daily from people relocating here. So if you have more questions about what I discussed, if you'd like to go into further detail, or maybe I didn't answer your question, it's always great to reach out to me. My contact information is down below. You can text, call, or email me, and make sure that you do set up a one-on-one call with me if you're thinking of coming for a visit, so I can get to know you better and make sure that I can see you and help you find your perfect location when relocating. I'll see you in the next video.